There are certain crimes so grim that it continues to shock and astonish us whenever we hear about it. The chilling story of Katarzyna Zowada is a glaring example of this fact. Welcome to this channel. Today we're going to take a look at the grim case of Katarzyna Zowada. Before we continue, if you enjoy true crime stories, make sure you like, share and subscribe to get the latest news on topics like this. This case has some really disturbing details, including dismemberment, dumping body parts into the ocean, skinning a person alive, and a hunt to find the perpetrator of this heinous crime that took police years to finally conclude. So sit back and join us as we talk about the truly sad case of Katarzyna Zowada. In the year 1998, Katarzyna lived in Krakow, Poland, and was a student of Jagiellonian University. However, it is on a cold Polish morning on January 7, 1999, that our story truly begins. That morning, while on the Vistula River, a tugboat operator discovered that there was something stuck in the propeller of his vessel. He most likely assumed that whatever was in the propeller was probably debris like a tire or tree branch. However, what he found was far more horrible and shocking than he could have ever expected. He would later describe what he found as being sack-like and having a pale color. He also noticed that it had a really foul smell, and when he got closer, he saw that it had a human ear. What this tugboat operator found on that cold morning turned out to be nothing else but the skin of the 23-year-old Katarzyna Zowada. Katarzyna's skin had been neatly cut away at neck and the thighs. Her nipples were also absent, and there was a seam under her right breast to the left shoulder. The coroner who examined Katarzyna pointed out that she had probably been in the water for about 2 or 3 weeks before she had been found. According to the people who knew her, Katarzyna was a nice person. However, it was also said that she seemed sad and withdrawn. She had very few friends, she sat alone during lectures, and she lived with her mother. Katarzyna also struggled with depression, which began after the death of her father in 1996 and had at one point tried to commit suicide. Katarzyna went missing on November 12, 1998. On that day, she was supposed to meet up with her mother at the psychiatric clinic, where she had been treated for depression. But Katarzyna never made it to the clinic. Her sudden absence made her mother worried, and later that day, she notified the police about her daughter's disappearance. After the events of January 7, 1999, the details of Katarzyna's death spread, and with the public's eye on the case, the police were under pressure to ensure that the person behind this gruesome murder was quickly brought to justice. The pressure on the police increased even further when profilers on the case stated that it was likely that Katarzyna's death was only the first in a long line of murders. Sadly, the predictions of the profilers turned out to be true, as the next murder did happen. On May 31, 1999, the Krakow police received a call from an old man who said that a murder had happened at his home in a village near the city. The old man added that he believed his grandson to be behind the murder. Upon arriving at the house, the police discovered a corpse hanging upside down from the ceiling in the basement of the house. The victim, a 50-year-old man, had been beheaded. What the police found next on the scene was truly sickening. While searching the scene of the crime, police found skin from the head and face of the corpse. What was truly terrifying, however, was the fact that the skin was sewn to form a mask. The head of the corpse was discovered outside the house. When arrested and interrogated, the killer, Vladimir W., who was the son of the victim, revealed even more shocking details about the terrible act he had committed. After killing his father, he had worn his father's clothes and the mask made from his skin for an entire day. His only reason for committing this crime was that he hated his father after he cheated on and abandoned his wife in Russia, only to begin a new life in Poland. It is likely that Katarzyna and Vladimir knew each other. They both studied psychology at the university, although they weren't in the same class. Katarzyna started in 1993 and dropped out after a year, while Vladimir started in 1992. Vladimir did not confess to murdering Katarzyna and was charged with the murder of his father. He was sentenced to 25 years in prison and is currently serving his sentence at a Russian jail. In Krakow's history, there has only been 3 reported cases of someone skinned alive after death. The last case happened in 1983 when a man named Jan N. seemingly out of nowhere murdered and skinned his wife and only son. Before this incident, Jan N. was considered a pretty normal, law-abiding citizen. After murdering his wife and son, Jan N. tried to get rid of the bodies by butchering them into multiple pieces. He then took the pieces to Vistula River and started throwing them in one by one. However, before he could finish this disturbing act, he was arrested. Jan N. was tried and sentenced to a mental institution, but he was soon granted parole on account of his declining physical health during the same time period around Katarzyna's health. Coincidence? Or could this be the culprit behind the death of Katarzyna Zowada? In the end, it turned out to be mere coincidence, as the police came out to say that they had determined that Jan N. couldn't be responsible for Katarzyna's murder. As the investigation continued, investigators questioned the possibility of Katarzyna having a secret relationship. Further inquiries revealed that Katarzyna had only one male friend, who she had met at an event where people sold old cassettes and music CDs to each other. But when the police questioned him, he had an alibi. In 2000, DNA belonging to an unknown person was found on Katarzyna's skin. But although the DNA was compared to all suspects, persons of interest, and even known sex offenders, a match wasn't found. In 2012, discovery of a new piece of evidence threw a ray of light into what had been a really dark case so far. Katarzyna's case was reopened because of the discovery of a rare plant species on her sweater. Police believed that this rare plant could hold the key to finding the location of the crime. Evidence from the investigation also revealed that Katarzyna was tortured by her captor before she was killed, and experts concluded that Katarzyna's killer was probably trained in martial arts. 19 years after the murder of Katarzyna Zowada, another suspect was arrested. On 4th October 2017, police arrested Robert Jagiellonian, a 52-year-old man who lived in the Kazimierz district of Krakow. Although the police had their eyes on Robert as a person of interest since 1999, he was never arrested. Robert was finally arrested on 4th October 2017 after the police received a letter from a friend of his. The contents of the letter have not been disclosed, as they are a crucial part of the investigation. But what we do know is that Robert had a history of harassing women and was trained in martial arts. He also knew Katarzyna and had visited her grave on previous occasions. Strangely, Robert Jagiellonian had previously worked at a dissecting lab where he handled human corpses, and as a result of his job at the Krakow Institute of Zoology, he had also the chance to watch the process of creating animal skins. Even stranger was the fact that Robert lost his job at the Krakow Institute of Zoology after killing all the rabbits during his shift. When searching Robert's home, investigators found blood in his bathroom and promptly secured his bath for further testing. Robert was arrested for the murder of Katarzyna Zowada and was charged with aggravated murder with particular cruelty. He, however, maintained that he did not know who Katarzyna Zowada was. The trial to determine if Robert Jagiellonian was the one behind the murder of Katarzyna Zowada is still ongoing. We can only hope that the truth about this sad murder comes to light and that the person who tortured and killed 23-year-old Katarzyna Zowada is brought to justice. Thank you for listening to the case of Katarzyna Zowada. Feel free to share your thoughts on this video in the comment section, and please do not forget to like, share and subscribe if you found this video enjoyable. See you in the next video.